this video, we're going to take a look at the Bevel tool. I'm going to continue with my fence section here, and we just want to zoom in to this top area here. I'm just going to select a face and hit F, frame that up. And I have a lot of extra edges here, but what I'd like to do is give this more of a rounded top to this particular post. So to start, I'm going to get rid of some of these extra edges because they're going to end up getting in the way of inserting a bevel. Getting rid of all those there is just going to leave me with a T. So with the edges selected, I'll hit delete on the keyboard. Whoops, extra there. Get rid of that. That's exactly what we're looking for there. Now that leaves open vertices and that gives me n-gons here. So I want to clean that up before I add my bevel. We're going to open the modeling toolkit, and that's this icon right here. This contains my bevel tool, but a lot of other tools that can help me clean up a model. You also might notice too here, we have extrude, we have bridge, and possibly some other tools that you're familiar with. The toolkit condenses all of those into one nice area. What I'm after here first, though, is target weld. This will allow me to grab components and merge those components together simply by clicking and dragging. I'm going to switch to vertex mode and grab all these extra vertices and drag them to the closest corner. That welds that. And let's grab the rest of these and weld them as well. And it's nice because the weld is interactive and it shows us exactly what it's going to weld to. And let's grab this one here, drag it over. And we just got these two here. We'll bring these to this corner as well. And this last vertex here. All right, now I'll hit Q, which will just get me back to select mode. And I'm going to select these two edges here. Let's just raise these up. And this is going to be the height of the bevel. So with those edges selected, I could now add a bevel to the top of this. So we'll go back into our modeling toolkit. I'll choose bevel. And that gives me a bevel there. It looks like I have some extra edges. We'll take care of those in a second. But let's add some extra segments. And we're going to add 6 segments there. You can see how that rounds out pretty nicely. I'm going to switch over to the attribute editor so that I can actually see all of the tool options here for my bevel. I'm going to grab the fraction and bring this down so that it rounds out to achieve the effect that I want. So actually I'm raising that up there from 0.5 to 0.817. And now I get a nice cap at the top of my post. Let's just go back here and let's see what's going on with these vertices. And I'll just hit W. We just need to drag those down a little bit. And what I'll do, just to keep this nice and clean, is I'm going to hit V to snap to point. You can see that that highlights there. And I'll grab just the Y axis and drag it to the vertex I want it to snap to, which is this guy right here, just to make that look a little neater. Now, as I did that, I can also see that I've got another n-gon, a couple of them. This guy right here. Ugly, don't want that. So I'll switch back over to my modeling toolkit here. And I'm going to grab the multi-cut tool, which will allow me to cut faces. So I can click on this first face here and then jump over to the other side. And it will create a cut in between those vertices that I selected. And to complete the tool, I'll just hit the right mouse button. And that gives me a nice subdivision there and changes those n-gons into quads. Wrap up the other side there as well. So that gives me a nice bevel there. Let's go down, and again, I'm going to select a face here and just frame that up. Let's add a bevel to the bottom of our post here, right along this edge loop. So once again, I'll select edges, and I'll choose bevel. Again, we can increase the number of segments to make it look more rounded. We can also modify that fraction, which is going to either tighten the bevel or expand it out. We could increase this value, but then it will hop over adjacent faces, and that's going to ruin our geometry there. So I can type a value in there, but we'll get overlapping, and that just gets messy. So I'll just leave that at 1. Now, what I can also do is this option right here, this auto fit, I'm going to turn that off and then drag the roundness down. And you can see instead of having it round out, it now concaves and goes into the model. So I can kind of invert my bevel and get a very different look to my model.